those who are watching live stream from all over the world. And we are continuously going on live stream because many people around the world, you are being blessed, and the comments you make are very beautiful and encouraging. It is costing us to be on live stream, but because of the blessings God is bringing to you through the word, we are continuously being on live stream for your sake and for the Lord's glory and for the extension of his kingdom. So continue to pray for us and pray for me and the ministry so that it will continue to bless you and support us too financially as well, if you can. And don't be one-sided receiver. You also have to give so you can be given. If you're blessed, you must also support too, so the rest of the world can be also supported as well. It costs us to be on live, and you can be part of the cost as well. So with this, welcome to today's session. Last Sunday, I talked to you about the lazy man. So I hope that you got rid of the lazy spirit in you after hearing this. And those that have watched live stream and YouTube, I know that it helped you to remove your lazy spirit. So everybody who's listening to me now are workers in the harvest field. Okay. So today, before we see ourselves as workers, I want to introduce God to you as a worker himself first. God is a worker and he's a workaholic. He gives himself no rest until on that day, on the seventh day, after he completed the work, he rested. But afterwards, he has never rested to this day. So you have to see God as the worker, and he does not rest. Bible says in Isaiah, he's a God that never sleeps or slumbers or closes his eyes. He's working day and night. While you are asleep, he's still working. While you are resting, he's still working. Because he is working, the rivers are still flowing. The sea has never risen up to take over the land. The sun has never ceased. Its operation is traveling day and night. The earth is still rotating. And the 12 moons of Jupiter do not attract our moon because he's always at work and make sure that everything works around the clock as it's supposed to. So God is a worker himself. He's a workaholic. He never rests. So if anyone is lazy, then you have a spirit that never came from God. You have created your own spirit or welcomed your own spirit of laziness. God imparted his life to us. So one of the things that he imparted to men is working spirit. The spirit of work. So every worker in the house of God on planet Earth, every man on earth is born to work. And Paul says very clearly, if you don't work, you shouldn't eat. If a father does not provide for his family, it's worse than a heathen. Because heathens know how to provide for their family. So if you are a Christian and don't know how to work, you're worse than a heathen. You're next to a demon. Demons are parasites. They live on bodies. They live in pigs and dogs and human beings. They are parasites. So if you're a parasite, parasiting on somebody, you're equivalent to a demon. God made you a human being, not a demon. But your character and your nature displays one. So you are being demonized if you're not a worker. If you're a lazy person and a parasite. Demons are parasites. They live on human beings, feed on human beings, and feed on bodies like animals. So don't be a demon and don't be demonized. God made you a worker and you must work. Every person must work. If you live with somebody, clean the toilets, clean, sweep, wash the dishes, clean the environment, plant the flower gardens. Work, you must work. If you don't work, you must not eat. That's what Paul says in the New Testament. I got more for you. The Bible says the worker is worthy of his wages. When Jesus sends the 70 and his disciples, he said, he gave them certain instructions as to where they should go, what they should do, how they should act and behave when they reject them. So after instructing them, he said, do not take any extra money with you. Do not take any extra bags with you. For a worker is worthy of his wages. For a worker is worthy of his salary, his payment. If men do not pay you, and if you worked and men do not pay you, the atmosphere will pay you. Yes. Creation will pay you. Why? Because the laws of gravity are there. You don't see gravity, but the work it does, you see it. What you throw up comes down. You don't bring it down. Gravity brings it for you because the law exists without you seeing it. So when you work, the law of compensation, the law of reward, the law of payment will work for you. Even if men don't pay you, the law will pay you. The law of reward, the law of payment. A worker is worthy of his salary. It's the word of God. So when you work and your bosses don't recognize your work, they don't promote you. Hey, wait. The law of reward, the law of promotion will work for you. So you don't work while bosses are waiting and while bosses are watching you to please the bosses. No. Whether they see you work or they don't see you work, let the nature, let God, let angels see that you work and cause the Lord to work for you, to pay you. God knows that. That's why he told Adam and Eve, till the land, cultivate the land, dress the land, look after what I have given you. I have planted a garden for you. So you look after what I have given you. Cultivate it, dress it. So God has put certain gifts in you, talents in you, abilities. God has put your purpose in you. God has put your call in you. God has given you life. He has given you body, soul, and spirit. Look after it, dress it, make it look good. Advance it, go forward, make it work. By working, you will make it work. When you are lazy, you will kill it. If you are lazy, what God has put in you will die. If you're lazy, what God has put in you will never rise up to grow wings and be what it's supposed to be and make you become what you're supposed to become. So what God has put in you will sleep, will become dominant, will never rise up. So by working what is in front of you and what God has put in your traps, you will grow. You will make it work. It will bring you forward. You are identified by your call. Before your father gave you your name, God has given you your name in that call. Your name is in that call. So before the father called you Andrew, and if you're a pastor, God already called you a pastor before your father gave you a name Andrew. So you are Pastor Andrew. We call the Lord's calling in you first. Prophet Jeremiah. Before the parents gave the name Jeremiah, the Lord called him a prophet first. He's prophet Jeremiah. So you are identified by your call. When your call comes out, you are identified, named after your call. And work on your call. If you're lazy, your call will never rise up to bless people, glorify God, or bless you too. You are blessed when you walk in your call. And by working at your call, you become who you're supposed to become. If you're lazy, you'll kill your call, your purpose, what you're supposed to do, and it will die and stay there. Lazy man will never see the reason why he was made. He lives in a dream world. He lives in a fantasy world. All he wants is eat, sleep, free handouts, go to his dream world, and that's all he wants to do, and he wants you to feed him all the time. A lazy man is a pain on the neck, spoon-fed man. And all that I taught you last Sunday, so you should know those words. If you're a worker, you will increase. You will multiply. You'll fulfill your dream. You'll go where you want to go. You'll have what you want to have. Become what you want to become. Hey, all these things are in a man who works. You get a dream, what you want to get. Work will give you what you're after. Yeah. Companies are looking for men who work. People are looking for men who work. They don't want to hire lazy. Lazy men are stumbling block. They lose profit. Become a stumbling block to workers. But if you're a worker, my goodness, you will gain. Even if men don't pay you, the atmosphere will pay you. The laws of reward will pay you. God has a million ways, more than a million ways to pay you. More than a million ways. You might be looking one way of receiving your salary and your pay, and that's the way you think you'll be blessed. When you work, God has a million ways to pay you. That's why the Bible says when you work for a man, don't work as if you're working for them. You work as if you're working for the Lord, because when you work as if you're working for the Lord has a million ways to reward you. See what he says? If you obey me, you till on the land, you do this, I will pay you, I will reward you, I will bless you. The blessings of obedience, the blessings of a righteous man, the blessings of a good man, all the blessings are lining up for you. And if you work and you are being honest and you live a righteous life, the law of reward is there to reward you. Even you don't see it, it's waiting for there to reward you. Okay, see what happens? You go and plant a banana in the garden. That's all you do. Who makes it grow? The law of growth. The law of harvest. What you plant is what you harvest. How much you plant is how much you harvest. Where you plant is where you harvest. These are the laws of harvest. They work for you. So when you work, the law of reward, law of payment will work for you. You say, oh, I work for this guy, but he's not paying me. Well, that's what you're working for. But if you work for the Lord will pay you. Even though you work for a man, but if you work as if you are working for the Lord, because the Bible says you work for everybody as if you are working for the Lord. So if you work for somebody as if you're working for the Lord, then the Lord will pay you, even if men do not pay you, because the Lord will make the law of reward work for you. Come on. I got an answer for you. And you're not going to pay me for this, but I got an answer for you. If you work, you will defeat poverty. Yes. By working, you can come out of poverty. By working, you can defeat poverty. Poverty is equivalent to being lazy, and laziness will bring poverty. But if you work, you will defeat poverty and come out of poverty. So it means you will work your way out of poverty. Hey, work. and the law of work, the law of reward will reward you. See, the reason why you remain poor is because you're looking at salary, you're looking at payment, and you're working for men, and all those combined forces to lock you where you are today. But if you come out of the Spirit and say, I'm working for the Lord, and you become smart, go early to work, finish late at work, and don't complain, but you work as if you're working for the Lord, you will come out of poverty. Come on. You can't pay me enough for this word. Yeah. If I were to sell this word, yeah, you'd pay me. But freely given and freely given to you now. This is the answer to a poor man's life. You can defeat poverty by working your way out. Not by lazily complaining about pay and working for men and this. Every man that you work for, you work as if you're working for the Lord. And if you work for the Lord and your attitude is like you're working for the Lord will compensate you and apply the law of payment, reward, blessings. If your father was poor, you were poor, you don't raise up poor children. There must be a place where you must break the chain and take you and your children out of that place. I said to myself, my father never drives a car, I will want to drive a car. He's not educated, I'll be educated. He never went to Australia, I'll go to Australia. Somewhere you must break that poverty. And how did I break it? I broke it through working. Work. God is a worker, and he who is born of God works. He imparted working spirit in man because he's a worker. God is a worker himself, and he blew into existence workers on the field. We can't just sit here and have already on planet Earth. He made us to work, so you must work. He who does not work must not eat too. Parasites should not be fed. If you feed them, you continuously helping them to be parasites. So they can learn their way to work and eat food by working. Even Paul worked, Christ worked. Pure men must work, holy men must work, righteous men must work, church men must work, everybody must work. Christians to pastors to everyone must work if you want to eat. A worker will have what he's dreaming for. Yeah. A worker will work towards his dream and goal and aim and objectives. A worker will get what he's after. A worker will be there where he wants to be. A worker will never give up. A worker will multiply, gain new territory, advance, increase, multiply, go forward. He'll never give up. He'll work to the last hour. Because of his working spirit, he will still work. He doesn't count about age. He doesn't count about gray hair. Come on. He doesn't count about bald head. He's not interested in wrinkles on his face. Oh, come on. All he's interested is work. He doesn't count his grandchildren and said, I'm a grandpaps. Hey, grandpaps, forget about it. He just keeps working. Grandchildren work, sons work, grandpaps work, great-great-paps. Everyone must work to the last hour. God made you to work, and you must be a worker like God. Come on. When you work, you got something good to offer to the world, to your friends, yourself. Yeah. I'll tell you the benefits of work. One, you will physically stay healthy. Yeah. You will physically stay healthy if you're a worker. Number two, when you work, you don't give chance to the devil to speak to you. Because you are busy working, so no time. Well, yeah, no time to listen to the devil. Come on. Hallelujah. Number three, people who work find themselves, entertain themselves in working. It's no longer a burden for them. is entertaining, so they can't stop sitting down doing that because the working spirit gets out of their life and they want to work, man. Lazy chaps want to rest a little bit, but workers, it's hard to live with a worker because he wants to work. For him, holiday is work. For him, entertainment is work. For him, everything is work. He wants to work because he finds entertainment in his work. Joy in his work. For some of you, it's a burden for you to work. It's a burden. But for the worker, he loves working. You ask a man who works, and he'll tell you what I'm telling you. The only time he wants to rest is when he feels his body needs rest. That's when he goes to sleep, and everyone is required of that because God himself, after working for 6 days, he rested too on 7 days, telling us that we must rest somewhere, rest the body. Right? But it's not talking about lazy, just resting. Must work. Tell your friend and say, I know I must work now. Okay? When you work, your mind, your mouth, your heart, your system is alerted. It's like it's activated. Your work activates your spirit, your soul, and your body. Yeah. It's on the move. So when you're working, your body, your soul, and spirit is on the move because you need all of them to make it work. Make everything work. So you see a worker, you'll see his speech, his mind, his eyes, his body is sharp. His words are full of life and full of work and full of activeness. Why? He's a worker talking. Yeah. Our worker will bring his family forward, will advance in what he's doing. He'll expand, he'll increase, he'll gain new territory. He will even gain the territories of lazy men too. Lazy men will hand over their territory to workers. Yeah, workers are workers. They will gain, they will advance, they will move, they will multiply, they will increase. They will go into new things, venture into new things. Workers. Workers control the earth today. Workers control business. Workers. Workers will have money. Workers will have houses. Workers. Workers will have what they want to have. Workers will eat what they want to eat. Workers will go where they want to go. Workers. Workers will fulfill their dream. Young men, young women, children listening to me today, learn to work when you were young. Help your parents to clean the dishes. Work around the house. Polish your father's shoes. Learn to wash your father's clothes. Be a worker from the beginning. Learn to work. God will reward you for your work and you become a smart man by working. If you're a student, study. Work, study. Don't be lazy. It will activate your mind, your life. I want to read you something. Genesis chapter 2. Then the heavens and the earth and all the hosts of them were finished. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. So God worked for 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested. So he's a worker. And there's something that Jesus said also. Listen to this. Okay? John 5:17. When the Pharisees were asking Jesus why he was healing on the Sabbath, this is what Jesus says in John chapter 5 verse 17. But Jesus answered them, my Father has been working until now, and I have been working too. And Jesus said, what if one of you and his donkey jump into a ditch on a Sabbath? Wouldn't you lift your finger to take him out? Here is someone, a descendant of Abraham, demon possessed on a Sunday. Why can't he be healed on a Sunday? Isn't a human being more than a donkey? If you can lift your finger to take a donkey out of a ditch on a Sunday, this human being is more better, million times more better than a donkey. So why can't this person be helped on a Sunday, on a Sabbath? That's why Jesus said, my Father has been working every day and I'm also working too. So God works every day. God doesn't rest on a Sunday. I'm Sabbath. He rests the only time he rested was on the day of creation. That's when he rested. Today he still works after he rested one day on that time. Yeah. Don't think that every somebody rests. You rest if you want to. But God works. The only day he rested is on that day after he made the world. But after that, after that one day, he works every day. To God, every day is alike. Yeah, he works every day. Son is working, the Father is working. Now, I don't want to get into some doctrinal issues on this, but I want to tell you, God is a worker every day, and we must work every day. Yeah. Some of you don't work on Saturday or Sabbath. Some of you don't work on Sundays. How you choose? Paul says in Romans chapter 14, how you choose. Some people think that our food, certain foods are, unclean. Well, to him it is unclean. But some people think it's good. Well, to him it's good. So however you made up your mind. Some people think that certain days are, sanctified or more holier. And some think that some certain days are like this and that. So, well, make up your mind where you want to worship and when you want to worship. Yeah, that's what the New Testament says. Okay? But you are a worker. Whatever it is, you're a worker. When there is somebody that needs healing, prayer, they want to be work on a Sunday or Sabbath or whatever, that's it. Work must be on. You respect whatever day you need to respect and work. God is a worker. He's working all the time. So we are born to work. Yeah. If you choose a day to rest like Jesus, like God, well, it's up to you. Choose a day to rest. If you've been working and you want some holiday, it's up to you. But worker is a worker. Some of you work when people are watching. When your bosses are watching. So you want to please your masters who employ you, and then you want to do things so that you want some pay increase and you want some more from your master. But I'd rather work for the Lord. I'd rather work for the Lord. When I say this is, I'm working for this man, but I'll work for him as if I'm working for the Lord. That when he's not there, the Lord is still watching me. Whether I'm being lazy, and you know my thoughts, you know my heart, you know my attitude, so he will pay you accordingly. He will even cost the bosses not to pay you if you are lazy for 1 hour. Yeah, because the atmosphere. He will cost the master not to pay you because the atmosphere will advise him. Laws of reward will advise him not to pay you, and you'll complain all the time. That's a good one for lazy people. I want to show you something very beautiful. You'll never forget this one. Listen to this one. You will love this one forever. I'm reading from Genesis chapter 39. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard an Egyptian brought him from the Israelites, bought him from the Ishmaelites, who were taking him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he was successful man. He was a successful man. And he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all he did to prosper in his end. Joseph was a worker. So even though he was a slave, sold as a slave and bought by Potiphar from the Ishmaelites, he was a worker. Immediately, he worked for his master. And when his master saw that he could work and he could be trusted, he put him in charge of his house. Listen to this. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all he did to prosper in his end. So Joseph found favor in his sight and saved him. Then he made him overseer of his house. I like the word overseer. Everybody say overseer. So the Egyptian captain made him an overseer of his house. That means Joseph is the slave. The boat slave is now the man in charge of Potiphar's house. Potiphar had several servants in the house too as well, slaves. And all his property, money, everything, Joseph was in charge. Because he saw his honesty, he saw his faithfulness, he saw his work. He was an honest man and saw that the Lord was with him. This is an Egyptian man declaring the God of Joseph. Declaring the God of a slave. A boss declaring the God of a slave because of his work. Because of his work. Then he made him overseer of his house, and all that he had put under his authority. So all that he had, he put him under Joseph's authority. So it was from that time that he made him overseer of his house and all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. For Joseph's sake, an Egyptian man was blessed. You can work for an Ethan. You can work for any Ethan. But when you work in righteousness and purity, and you're working as if you're working for the Lord, the Ethan can declare your God. In fact, Ethans will trust you more than even Christians can trust you. Here is an Ethan declaring the God of Joseph, and realizes that he is blessed because of a worker that came to work for him. He thought he bought any kinds of slaves. Yeah. Not realizing he bought an Israeli and a worker with the God of Israel on his head. So he's working, he's honest, he's righteous before God and before man. So he gained the trust of men as much as he gained the trust of God. So he's working with all his heart to serve his master, and he won his heart by works. Man, you can work and win the heart of your master, heart of your boss, heart of Ethans who employ you, even drunkards who employ you. You can win their hearts by working for them, honestly. That the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was on all that he had in the house and in the field as well. Not only in the house, but in the field. God prospered the man in the house, in the field, in his work as well. Therefore, he left all that he had in Joseph's end, and he did not know what he had except for the bread which he ate. So everything was put into the hands of Joseph, and Joseph was in charge, except for the bread he ate. Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance. He was a handsome man. Handsome men work. Are you hearing me? Pretty women work. They don't market their prettiness and beauty to make the men work for them. Yeah, come on. They don't sell their beauty to make men work for them. Handsome men don't sell their handsomeness to make women work for them and make women become their slaves. Handsome men work, pretty women work, good-looking men, women work. Joseph worked, we must work. Holy men work, righteous men work. Everybody must work. Drunkards too must work. If you want to drink more. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast longing eyes on Joseph and said, lie with me. That's what happened with a worker. Worker will work and, a property. A worker will work and have cars and money. A worker will work and make his name and fame go up. A worker will work and gain new territory. A worker will work and look handsome and fit in society, look tall in society, look this and that in society. So women will put their eyes on a worker. Are the women hearing me? So the women put eye on the worker. Because he will look handsome with all the support he has, money he has, other things he has, favor he has, because a worker will always be favored, whether heathens or Christians, no matter who you are, as long as you are a human being, a worker will be favored. So a woman was putting an eye on a worker, a slave, who doesn't own anything, who is only looking after a husband's property. That's what happens with you when you work. You look young, you look handsome, you stay fit. And even in your old age, women will put their eyes on you. Come on. Men are not loving ugly men. Yes, because you stay fit. When you work, you look handsome, you look good, you look taller, you look good. Your mind, your body, every system works. You are activated. You're a man who is active in every way. Work will make you stay young and look good. A worker develops new muscles physically. You try and see the muscle of a worker and see the lazy man's muscles. 10 lazy men try to challenge the one worker, he'll push you. All of the 10 men will take 10 steps back by one man. You don't challenge a worker because he's muscular. But it happened about this time when Joseph went into the house to do his work. To do his what? To do his work. And none of the men of the house was inside. That she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. But he left his garment in her hand and fled and ran out. And so it was when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and fled outside, that she called to the men of her house and spoke to them, saying, see, he has brought into us a Hebrew to mock us. He came into me to lie with me, and I cried out with a loud voice. And it happened when he heard that I lifted my voice and cried out, that he left his garment with me and fled and went outside. So she kept his garment with her until his master came home. Then she spoke to him with words like this, saying, The Hebrew servant whom you brought to us came in to me to mock me. So it happened as I lifted my voice and cried out that he left his garment with me and fled outside. So it was when his master heard the words which his wife spoke to him, saying, your servant did to me what his master in this manner. And then his anger was aroused, and Joseph's master took him and put him into prison, a place where king's prisoners were confined. And he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy, and he gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's and all the prisoners who were in the prison. Whatever they did, it was his doing. The keeper of the prison did not look into anything that was under Joseph's authority, because the Lord was with him, and whatever he did, the Lord made it prosper. So, wherever you go, to Potiphar's house or to the prison, to one province to another province, to one place to another, to one family to another, what goes with you is the working spirit. And with the working spirit, you can make anything in front of you prosper. In anybody's yard, in any place. Joseph took the honest spirit, the trusted spirit, the godly spirit, the working spirit, the faithful, committed spirit with him to Potiphar's house, with him to prison. So when he applied it, it worked in any place, under any boss, in any situation. See, here is Joseph working to defeat a slave spirit. Here is Joseph working to defeat a prisoner spirit. And as he's working faithfully, he's not working for that man. He's not working for anybody. He's working for the Lord. And that's what he said to the lady. When the lady kind of asked her all the time, this is what he said to her. I like the words that Joseph said. Just listen to what he said. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife casted longing eyes on Joseph and said, lie with me. And this is what Joseph said. But he refused and said to his master's wife, look, my master does not know what is with me in the house, and he has committed all that he has to my hand. There is no one greater in this house than me, than I, nor has he kept back anything from me but you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against my God? Great sin and great wickedness against my God. Not against your husband, against my God. So you can see that he's not working for Potiphar. He's not working for the prison officer. He's working for who? God. Under his watchful eyes, he's working for God. And that's the difference between you pastors, you Christians, you workers. You work for your boss, and that's why you remain poor. And you can't come out of your poverty because of that spirit. And you expect somebody to buy you a car. You expect somebody to give you money. You expect somebody to do this for you. Begging spirits, endowed spirits come from lazy spirits. If you want to come out of where you are and want to be blessed, work like Joseph. A slave working for the master. He's doing everything for the master. A prisoner working for the boss and gain the approval. And once the boss says, I can trust you. When the boss says, no, I can put all my money into your hands and forget about it. I can give you all that is in the house and forget about it. I don't need to keep records. You can do it. How many of you, when people put money into your hands, you don't give the last penny and give a report of it? Yes, God planned your money, so he should forget it. So you put some in your pocket. You remain like that, and your child will remain like that. Your wife will remain like that. You pass on a poverty spirit to your children forever. Break it and come out by being honest. If you want to come out of your poverty, if you want to come out of your lazy spirit, learn to work where you are. Start cleaning your rooms. Start cleaning and washing your clothes today. Start cleaning where you are. And then go 1 meter, 2 meters outside of your bed and start cleaning and start working. There's too many works in front of you. Lazy men and women must learn to work. if you want to come out of your poverty. Work your way out. Here is Joseph, working hard for the prison officer, working hard for Potiphar. The property he's looking after is not on. He doesn't own it. He does not own it. That's all Potiphar's property. How many of you start looking after somebody's company and you envy? I'm working for this company and this company is getting bigger and bigger. And you said, I am the one that's working for him and he's getting bigger. He should see me and he should pay me more because I'm making him rich. Poor spirit, you remain poor. Thinking like this. Poor spirit, you remain poor. You work for the company. Who told you that you come and count the company's progress? Are you there to count the company's progress and thinking that you should have half of the property by working for him? You work and make that company prosper, and the laws of reward will reward you. Get rid of this give me mentality, handout mentality, dependency mentality. Work. This country is so blessed. Papua New Guinea is so blessed with natural resources. There are no laws that control economy in this country. You can start up a little tuck shop and make your way and own a supermarket. It's all there. People from other nations take advantage of your laziness and they become rich and you become poor. We are so blessed. They take money from you in your own land, take advantage of your lazy spirit, capitalize on it, work hard, and you work for them. You protect the property and you die protecting them. If you work, God has blessed Papua New Guinea beautifully, wonderfully. It's a small nation with a small population. We can be so blessed if everyone who is hearing me today begin to work. God will bless this nation, bless you. You will come out of your poverty. This is a blessed nation. Naturally, we are blessed. And God has become the God of Papua New Guinea. Work. Don't complain. Work. Remove your lasting eyes. Defeat your lasting eyes, wishful eyes, and concentrate and work as if you're working for the Lord. Little things or big things or whatsoever. You're a slave in somebody's house. Work for that man until that man prospers. Let him prosper and you master the working spirit. Yeah. Prosper him, but you go away with the working spirit. Because the working spirit will go with you to make you prosper one day. But God uses that master to give you your working spirit. So you got something in life forever. So wherever you go, you can make things work because the working spirit goes with you. If you have a stealing spirit, the stealing spirit goes with you wherever you go. So anywhere you go, you want to steal. You want to steal. Doesn't matter about the location. Doesn't matter about the place or family you go to. You want to steal. You want to steal. You want to steal. Because anywhere you go, you want to steal. Because the stealing spirit goes with you. So is the working spirit. When the working spirit goes with you, you can turn nothing into something. Because of the working spirit. You got something today that no money can give you. You got something today. You can bail yourself out of your poverty by this work. You can come out of where you are to a new place with this word. God is a worker and He made us working beings. No lazy beings, end-out beings. No expectation beings. God has given all of you a call. The reason why you exist is because of a call and a purpose. Work on your purpose. Deal with your purpose. Give time to bring your purpose up. And God's blessings are in that purpose. And you'll be blessed. And you'll become an instrument of blessing to others. When Joseph became an instrument of blessing to Potiphar, God blessed him. When he became an instrument of blessing to the prison officer, and he used his body to bless the prison officer, and as you work as if he was working for God, God blessed him and took him out. In defeated poverty, in defeated slavery, in defeated prison, and came out. Why? The laws of reward worked for him. And while he was working for Potiphar, while he was working for the prison, God was trying to make the laws of reward work for him. God sees what you do in secret. God knows what you think in secret. God knows your attitudes and your behavior, your intentions when you're working. God knows all that, and he will reward you accordingly. You are merely working to gain something from somebody, doing less work for him and gain more. You will stay like this, and your children and your life and wives and husbands will stay like this. If you come out of it, change your attitude and work as if you're working for the Lord. Workers will be rewarded with many things. Workers are blessed. We'll see you at the same time next Sunday. Be a worker. Be a worker and come out of where you are. Work your way out. Defeat all this to working. And stop living in a dream world. Workers will always get what they're after. They will work towards the aim, goal, executives, and they will go where they want to go. Workers will be compensated, rewarded, and blessed. Be a worker. God